Welcome to Big Monday, presented by Bud Light, part of Rivalry Week presented by Cisco. Tonight, Rutgers gets a chance to exercise some demons. It's the 7th-ranked Scarlet Knights against the number 2 Lady Vols of Tennessee. Well, it was just last Tuesday that Rutgers knocked off the number 1 team in the country, the UConn Huskies. Tonight, they go after number 2, while Tennessee, with a win, they would most assuredly move up to the top spot. Thrilled to have you here in Knoxville on a Monday evening. Alongside Carolyn Peck, I'm Eric Collins. Rebecca Lobo will join us in just a couple of moments. Well, in these parts, over the last 4 days, the big talk has been about Candace Parker and her knee. She was hurt last Thursday against Mississippi State. She is going to play tonight, but Carolyn, the question, how well will she play tonight?
Well, after watching her go down at Mississippi State, it was a big question in everybody's mind, especially when she was carried off the court. But, Eric, you and I both watched her in shoot-around this morning. I think she's at 100%. She was here an hour before game time, putting on her one-on-one moves against a manager. She looks like the old Candace Parker that we all like to watch play.
Yeah, we shall see. Well, in today's game, we have a whole galaxy of stars. In total, 9 former high school All-Americans who will lace it up and play in today's game. But, Carolyn, I'm going to put your feet on the fire. Who are the star of stars that we need to keep an eye on?
Eric, the star of all stars coming into tonight's game for Rutgers is Epiphany Prince. She had 27 points in the second half against UConn, be able to take down number 1. But also on the other side, you've got the Tennessee Lady Vols All-American Candace Parker that can do so many different things. All
right, let's roll up our sleeves and get going. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. First, the visitors from Rutgers. Rashida Junaid gets her 2nd consecutive start in the pivot. That's allows Kia Vaughn to move to the number 4 spot. Ajavan, Prince, and Carson in the backcourt. For the locals, the Lady Vols of Tennessee, it's Shannon Bobbitt, Hornbuckle, and the freshman Bjorklund in the backcourt. Of course, Candace Parker at the 4, and Nikki Anasicki, who had a fantastic game in the championship game a year ago. She is the center for Pat Summitt's team. All right, let's check in with Rebecca Lobo. Rebecca, what's the very latest on Candace Parker's left knee?
Well, Eric, you talked about Candace's shoot-around today. She also participated in a full practice yesterday. Trainer Jenny Moshak called the injury an irritation to the knee, which resulted in muscle spasm, pain, and tightness. They worked on the knee over the weekend doing strengthening and stretching exercises and massage. When I spoke to Candace earlier today, she said the knee was a little sore, but she did not think it would affect the way she plays tonight.
We shall see. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Well, we are in the midst of a very important week for the Women's Basketball Coaches Association in their quest to heighten awareness for women's cancers. Over 700 schools across the country, including high schools, involved in Think Ink Week. That is why Rutgers is wearing pink uniforms. That is why Tennessee, well, they have red hairbands, they have some wearing pink shoes, that kind of stuff.
And they've got the pink shoelaces.
All right, Rutgers, they have the ball. They start off on offense. Here's Ajavan. Long jumper, no good. Offensive rebound denied. And here comes Bobbitt and Tennessee.
Had someone said that they want to run and put up some quick shots because Rutgers wants to keep it a low-scoring game. Tennessee wants it to be a high one.
The freshman Bjorklund, first bucket of the game is good.
One of the things, Eric, that Rutgers does so well is execute their offense and get late in the shot clock. That's one way that they keep ball games with low scoring or low point totals.
Carson over to Vaughn, hands it over to Ajavan. A lot of experience on this Rutgers team. Ajavan hits the deck. She is fouled. She will go to the free throw line. Now we have some star power on the sidelines for both schools. C. Vivian Stringer, 796 total wins. This is her 13th season at Rutgers, 37th season overall. Don't get much better than her. Ajavan, the senior from Newark, comes up shy in her first free throw attempt. For Tennessee, familiar face, of course, Pat Summitt, now in her 34th season with the Lady Vols, 7-time national champion.
We see two coaches go against each other tonight who are fierce competitors, very, very successful, and also very good friends.
They combined for over 1,700 wins in their careers. Fantastic, fantastic programs. Here's Shannon Bobbitt on the right wing. Anasicki, guarded by Junaid.
And tonight was going to back off of her, make Anisiki try to make her take the shot from the free throw line area. But the offensive putback in the Final Four in the championship game, the second chance points are what killed Rutgers. Nikki Anisiki alone had 16 rebounds, 10 of them were offensive.
Candace Parker gets her first 2 points. Candace is playing with a sleeve on her left knee. Didn't even have that sleeve in shoot-around earlier today. She was practicing with nothing on that left knee. Offensive rebound, Drew Knight off the window.
And that's why she's in the starting lineup. She needs to be a big presence on the board, be the cleanup for the guards when they put up the perimeter shots.
Quick shot, Hornbuckle, no. Bobbitt has the ball up high. Extra possession for the Lady Vols. Parker, the junior from Chicago, face-up jumper.
Wow, she makes that look easy. Kievon can't give her that much room. Got to make her have to make a move.
Rutgers 19-3 on the season, coming out of the Big East, where they are 9-1 in conference play. Tennessee Lady Vols 21-1, 8-0 in SEC play. The only loss for the Lady Vols coming on the road against Stanford. Carson, hits the shot and falls down. It's an opportunity for a three-point play.
That's nice by Carson's good body control there. And then able to finish. Check this out. Off the dribble drive from Angie Bjorklund, then able to get up, elevate, knock it down, and get herself to the free throw line.
The senior from Patterson, New Jersey, two-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year, gets the three-point play.
The one thing that Rutgers does in the games that I've watched them play is they keep everybody close. Now, that's a good thing and a bad thing. They keep good teams close, and they put themselves in striking distance at the end. They also keep close teams that they should beat, and it gives those opponents an opportunity, leaves them in striking distance to pull off the win.
Epiphany Prince shuffled the shoes before making that move. This is a critical game for the sophomore from Manhattan.
It really is, to see if she can back up the performance that she put together against Connecticut. She's the real deal, though. She scored a lot of points out of high school. Now, the thing is in the championship game, Epiphany Prince had 0 field goal attempts in that championship game.
Left-handed shot, Parker comes up a little bit short. First substitution of the game, Alex Fuller comes into the game, replacing Nikki Anisiki for Tennessee.
Epiphany Prince in that Connecticut game in the second half. I think Coach C. Vivian Stringer saw that she was hot and at times just cleared out. Give it to Epiphany on the wing and let her go one-on-one. She can create her shot so well.
Junaid misses from point-blank range. Here come the Lady Vols. Ajavon coming our way. Oh, my. Nice to meet you, Matee.
Nice hustle. You were supposed to catch her, Eric.
Next time, maybe. That's some hustle right there, Rutgers style.
You made no effort to catch her.
I didn't want to interfere with the field of play. Bjorklund hits the three. All right, everyone's awake now on press row.
Let's talk about Angie Bjorklund. Now, one of the things that Debbie Jennings, the sports information director, told me is that her father is here. And when her dad's in town, Angie Bjorklund plays very well. Looks like she's feeling it right now.
Another whistle, and it's going to be called on Tennessee defensively. That's Shannon Bobbitt's first personal foul. Well, Candace Parker has come out firing on all cylinders. The junior from Chicago already with 4 early points. This ESPN telecast is available in high definition on ESPN2 HD, presented by Olivia. Well, it has been a picture-perfect last 6 days for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. It was just last Tuesday that Rutgers, hosting the #1 team in the nation, the UConn Huskies, and putting their feet to the fire, making it happen, knocking off the Connecticut Huskies, giving Connecticut their very first loss on the season. And a big reason why was the play of sophomore guard Epiphany Prince, 27 points in the second half alone, 33 total, and the Scarlet Knights winning by 2.
She not only had 33 points, she had 6 steals, and from the guard position, Eric, 6 rebounds. She had a great all-around game. It was fun to watch.
This is the 4th straight ranked opponent that C. Vivian Stringer's Scarlet Knights are taking on.
Well, they dropped a game to West Virginia. Then they were able to redeem themselves against Pittsburgh, knocking off #1 UConn, and now playing Tennessee. Now, I wonder if Coach C. Vivian Stringer looked at that schedule and said, I'm going to play Tennessee and Connecticut within a week, back-to-back.
Going to get you ready for the tournament. Essence Carson along the baseline. She's now got 5 points.
That's a good sign for Rutgers when Essence Carsons is being offensive-minded from the beginning.
Junior Alex Fuller takes her first shot and knocks it in.
Alex Fuller creates some mismatch problems because she can knock down that shot behind the three-point line. When she does that, man, that opens up the lane for Candace Parker.
United really wants that ball in the post. They can't get it to her. Now it's Prince. Too strong off the glass. Parker the rebound. Here comes Bobbitt. In the corner, Hornbuckle inside. Yorkland has her shot blocked, and she's fouled. Prince got her on the wrist.
That's going to be 3 shots.
Well, Super Tuesday presented by KFC has doubleheader action coming your way tomorrow night on ESPN at 7 Eastern Time. The Michigan State Spartans taking on Purdue. Then at 9, it's the SEC taking over as the Kentucky Wildcats face off against your alma mater, Vanderbilt.
The Commodores, that's not a given. The last time those two teams met, Kentucky won. Epiphany Prince has to go out and contest that shot against Angie Bjorklund. She's hit a couple early, and that's all that freshman needs. Get a little confidence, and things are starting to flow. Notice the bandage over her knee, over her nose. That's a splint. Not only in the Mississippi State game did Candace Parker go down, but Angie Bjorklund got her nose broken.
Pressure is broken. It's Maya McCurdy just checked into the game, wearing number 24 for Rutgers. She gives it over to Epiphany Prince.
I think that throughout this game we'll see both teams mixing in a little bit of their full court press. It was something that was very good to Rutgers against Connecticut.
Yorkland sticks her nose in there and gets the rebound, pulls it away from Kia Vaughn. Parker wants it, has it glance off her fingertips. Last touch by Kia Vaughn. It'll stay with Parker and the Lady Vols.
Kia Vaughn has done a good job of going about 7 minutes almost without picking up a foul. It's going to be very important that she stays on the floor, because if Kia Vaughn gets in foul trouble, there's not a real offensive presence for Rutgers inside.
Hornbuckle, pull up.
I like her game. She's really up to ante this season, her senior year. It's not any one category that you can point to for Alexis Hornbuckle. She's just been that senior leader and been able to do what her team needs her to do, whether it be knock down a big shot, get a key steal, or make the perfect assist.
A foul underneath that's going to go against Kia Vaughn. She pushed Candace Parker trying to get position.
They worked on that high-low pass in shoot-around today for Rutgers, and that's something that Tennessee in the past has had trouble defending, especially keeping the ball out of the middle of the floor. That was great defense by Candace Parker.
Carolyn, this is not a good sign for Rutgers that they've already allowed 17 points for the Lady Vols, and we haven't even played 7 minutes yet.
Well, the Lady Vols like to put up 80-plus points a game, and that really plays into the advantage Tennessee. Rutgers wanted it to be a low-scoring game, and Pat Summitt said, I've got to have my team get up and down the floor and try to score points quickly and as early as possible.
Tough shot, Ajavan.
Oh, that was a tough shot. That was going up and over the land of the trees.
Hornbuckle being guarded by Prince. Inside, Fuller, half hook.
Nice finish by Alex Fuller. Pat Summitt said she really likes the way Alex Fuller has played. She's just real consistent, not real flashy. You almost don't notice her out there. She just silently gets it done.
Rutgers flirting with having their largest deficit of the season put upon them. 2 times this year they've trailed by 10 points. In both those games they happen to win, but they've never trailed by more than 10 points all season long so far through their first 22 games.
But I think Rutgers is one of those teams that just hang around. They're trailing 9 points, 10 points. When it gets down 11 and 12, I think you're going to see Coach C. Vivian Stringer pull out 55, that press. And that's when I think that the athletes for Rutgers really play to their full momentum. Creating offense from their defense, playing a much faster game than the setup half-court game.
Shot clock down to 2. Prince has to just throw it up, can't hit it. Offensive rebound, Vaughn. Another offensive rebound, and Prince is fouled. She will go to the free throw line. 11:42 remaining, first half. Rutgers trying to get their sea legs underneath them. They trail by 9.
Making a special trip today from Knoxville, Tennessee to the Lady Tennessee Vol assistant coaches Holly Warlick and Nikki Caldwell have been kind enough to join us today. Coach, they participated in Cruising for a Cause back in the fall, a motorcycle campaign across the country that raised $10,000.
Yesterday, just a fantastic scene down in Raleigh, North Carolina. Lady Volunteer assistant basketball coaches Holly Warlick and Nikki Caldwell surprising Kay Yao at the BC North Carolina State game and presenting Kay with a $10,000 check that goes to the Kay Yao WBCA Cancer Fund. Just a fantastic moment yesterday.
Well, Nikki and Holly rode from Berkeley, California to Knoxville, Tennessee on their motorcycles and were able to raise $50,000. They're going to do it again this summer or this spring from May 11th to May 18th, and they're going to start in Knoxville, Tennessee and ride down through Key West and on the way and come all the way back. And on their way, Eric, I'm going to hook up. I'm going to ride part of the way with them.
You told me that. Now, you're actually not going to ride. You're not going to drive. I'm
not going to drive. I'm going to ride on the bike with Nikki Caldwell on part of the route.
That's fantastic. Free throw for Prince goes in.
What'd I tell you? Point spread, when Rutgers is in the deficit, when they're behind, they pull out 55. They got the result exactly with what they were looking for.
Well, Pat Summitt didn't like what she saw. She calls timeout. They want to talk about it.
Why are energy drinks bad? 12 spoons of sugar? That's bad. 200 calories? Bad. Guarana? Tisk, tisk. Good for a short jittery burst, then a debilitating crash. So don't drink energy drinks. Drink 5-Hour Energy. It's not a drink, more like a sip. But with that sip, you'll feel alert and focused for hours, without the crash or jitters. It has 0 sugar, only 4 calories, and no guarana. 5-Hour Energy. Hours of energy now, no crash later.
Welcome back, everyone, to Knoxville, Tennessee. The Lady Vols on top of Rutgers by 7. 11:42 remaining, and we have Tennessee royalty in the building. That's Bruce Pearl, the men's coach. He's in the house, and it's Think Pink Week. He's wearing pink.
He is. Hat, shirt, and you haven't gotten a picture of it, but his shoes. Adidas got him a pair of pink shoes to wear tonight.
In the latest poll, the Volunteer, the men's team, they are 4th in the country. Look at those nice togs.
Does he have that hat crooked to the side a little bit? Look at the shell there. Pink.
All right, Candace Parker's going to go to the free throw line. She's got 4 points so far today. Have you seen any ill effects from the junior?
Have not seen anything. That knee does not seem to be bothering her one bit.
Pretty successful season a year ago for Candace Parker. Won the Wade Trophy, won the Wooden Award, SEC Player of the Year, and, oh, by the way, won a national championship, too.
She did. You know, we did the game in Baton Rouge yesterday, and Van Chancellor talked about when there's a knee injury, one of the things that it affects is your free throw shooting. You don't want to bend your knee. I think that's a sign, too, we can see of how much that'll affect Candace Parker, because we were watching Sylvia Fowles coming back from her knee injury.
Pressure applied by the Lady Vols, and a foul is committed. Essence Carson is whacked.
That's a key no-no in a press. The two things that you don't want to do is you don't want to foul and you don't want to give up a wide-open layup.
Rebecca, what's going on?
Guys, earlier you talked that Rutgers' biggest deficits this year were by 10 points. Well, about a week and a half ago, they lost to West Virginia, and Coach Vivian Stringer had a talk with the team, told them they needed to change their mindset. She said she wasn't seeing any warriors, particularly when they were down. She said you always have to fight back. Anyone who looks in your eyes, from the opponent to your teammates to the fans, have to see that warrior whenever you're down in the ball game.
That's one of the things that she is looking for, is that warrior mentality, and she felt like she saw it in the Connecticut game. Rebecca, she talked about they finally showed that never say die attitude when they played against the Huskies.
Nikki Anisicki back into the game, replacing Alberta Auguste, who was just in for a couple of moments. That is now 16 fouls on Tennessee. The next time they commit a foul, it'll be free throws for Rutgers. Oh, good sign for the Scarlet Knights as Prince hits the triple.
You see if Tennessee takes advantage of the size lineup that they have in. They've got Alex Fuller in, Candace Parker in, and Nikki Anisicki. That's a big lineup.
That is absolutely velvety for Candace Parker. She's got 8 early points.
Nikki Anisicki guarding Essence Carson's on the perimeter. I think the WNBA scouts love that. A player of her size able to defend out on the perimeter.
A legit 6'4" is Anisicki, trailing Essence Carson. Ajavan up high, raises, just glances the fan into the rim. And here comes Tennessee. Candace running the break. Bobbitt, clean look. And Carson hits the deck. It's going to be another foul on the Lady Vols. This time, Alexis Hornbuckle. Somewhat partisan crowd. I don't think they agree with all the whistles going against the Lady Vols.
Well, I've been here a number of times, and whenever a Lady Vol fouls, the crowd never believes that they're guilty. Both players are going for the rebound. I believe that she snuck in a little hand that held on the shoulder on Essence Carson and pulled her to the ground. That inside hand, she thought she was going to be able to get away with that one.
So that's now the 7th team foul against Tennessee. So for the remaining 10:24 the first half, every time Pat Summitt's team commits a foul, Rutgers is going to go to the free throw line. That's a big advantage.
In the 1-and-1, and especially the penetrating type players that Rutgers has. If I'm C. Vivian Stringer, I run more offense going off the dribble now, because Tennessee's players, number one, don't want to get any more foul trouble, and gives them scoring opportunities to get to the free throw line.
1-on-1 situation for Carson. Coach Stringer, inducted to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2001. Her counterpart, Pat Summitt, inducted in 1999. Just fantastic careers in the game of basketball. And now the fans get what they want, a foul call against Rutgers. They whistle it on Maya McCurdy.
I'll tell you, when you're trying to press Tennessee and trying to press Shannon Bobbitt, that's quick on quick now. The one thing you need to do is try to contain and keep her in front of you. You can't gamble. She's going to make you pay.
6-point lead for the Lady Vols. Hornbuckle. Anisicki. Working against Vaughn. No foul call. Here come the Scarlet Knights.
When Vaughn comes down, she's got...
And we're going to have a foul called underneath. Parker rips away the rebound, and she was grabbed on the arm.
Foul problem Rutgers has backed off their press a little bit.
Rutgers is a surprisingly thin team. They have just 8 players who will play tonight. Now, they're all very good players with long resumes and good pedigrees, but they only have 8, so they can't afford foul trouble.
Definitely not, and especially inside. Very thin in the perimeter.
Anasicki, wild shot. Ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Prince. It'll stay with the Lady Vols. And Junaid limping a bit.
Looks like she turned her ankle a little bit.
Well, she's looking towards the bench, and Coach Springer said stay in there. Now it looks like they're going to try and get Purdy into the game, but not until the next whistle. Junaid gets the rebound and hobbles down the floor.
Good box out now. Matea Adjavon on Alex Fuller. They look for Rutgers to execute their offense. They'll use a lot of the shot clock.
Prince goes baseline in a crowd, and she's fouled. Epiphany Prince will go to the free throw line once again.
That's 2 fouls on Hornbuckle. I think that's key for Tennessee. With Hornbuckle with 2 fouls, now does Pat make the decision to leave her in and let her play? Or does she sit, not afraid to not allow her to pick up that 3rd foul?
So Prince, a 2-shot free throw opportunity. Fantastic quote a couple of days ago. Kathy Pondexter, former all-everything guard for Rutgers a couple of years ago, now playing for the world champion Phoenix Mercury. When she was talking about Epiphany Prince, she said she's got a little bit of Jordan, a little bit of LeBron in her in the way that she can get to the basket.
That's a huge comparison, but it's true. The way that she was able to create scoring opportunities for herself against Connecticut was amazing.
Here's Vicky Ball into the game for the first time, freshman from Sacramento, wearing number 21 for the Lady Vols. Bobbitt.
Well, we've seen some defense.
Candace double teamed, has the ball knocked away, and she's fouled. This game is being closely called.
It is, and it'll be interesting to see if it maintains being called so closely. Maya McCurdy really just trying to deflect the ball and was in front of Candace Parker and called for the foul.
That's the 2nd foul on McCurdy. She'll go back to the bench. And Junaid back into the game. Parker steps out. Epiphany Prince on the run out for Rutgers.
And here comes trouble.
Didn't like her odds. Junaid takes her time and shuffle the shoes. Turnover.
Sophomore mistake. She did a good job of keeping the ball high, but just didn't keep her balance and did shuffle her feet a little bit down low.
Rutgers has played from behind virtually this entire game. They've cut it to 4 right in this one. Candace inside, and she's fouled.
That's 2 fouls on Kia Vaughn. Now the 8-minute mark in the first half. That's a long way to go for Kia Vaughn. Leader in this game. Kia caught herself out of position there. You're better off to let Candace Parker go.
Carolyn, it seems as if the bigger the game, the better Candace plays.
Really, that is so true, Eric. The bigger the game, the better she plays. I think the more on the line, and notice that in games that are close and it comes time to making the decision of winning the game, that's when she takes over. And Coach Summit wants to see that from her early, and she has definitely demonstrated that tonight.
Ajavon on the wing. Gets it over to Prince. Pass a little bit too strong. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Tennessee. Pat Summit's team, they have a 7-point lead. 7:53 remaining here in the first half.
Ryan Brian Burr with your SportsCenter 30 at 30 update. Florida Panthers forward Richard Zednick listed in stable condition in intensive care. He will continue to be evaluated after undergoing life-saving surgery. He was hit in the throat by a skate. Quarterback Trent Green, acquired by the Dolphins last year. He was cut today by the new head of football operations, Bill Parcells. SportsCenter, 11 p.m. ESPN News always on.
Well, here in Knoxville, Rutgers trailing Tennessee by a score of 26-19, 7:53 remaining. This is a rematch of last year's national championship game. Well, Wednesday night hoops on ESPN continues in the ACC as DeMarcus Nelson and the second-ranked Duke Blue Devils take on the Maryland Terrapins. That's Wednesday night hoops, presented by Staples on ESPN at 7 Eastern Time. All right, Carolyn, question for you. We have not seen for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights any of Heather Zurich. She is a normal starter. She started 50 of the last 56 games for the Scarlet Knights, but she hasn't gotten off the bench so far today. She
came off the bench for Connecticut, and I felt like she did a nice job of knocking down key threes when they were needed. And also, I think a concern was whether or not Heather Zurich would be able to rebound with Tennessee. I watched the Rutgers game against Maryland, and I thought that Heather Zurich did a decent job, really nice job, against one of the best rebounders in the ACC in Crystal Langhorne. I would say give her a shot.
Loose ball picked up by Junai. Prince will reset some offense.
Tennessee has switched up to a zone. 2-3.
Ajivon over to Carson. Rutgers, they got a chip on their shoulder against these Lady Vols. Each of their last 3 seasons have come to a close at the hands of Tennessee. Ajivon short, tries to get her own miss, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Tennessee's been the spoiler against Rutgers, took away the national championship, and then in 2 regionals ended the championship dreams of the Scarlet Knights. The field goals, Rutgers is 5 of 16. I think they're finding it very difficult to get in any kind of offensive rhythm, and it's a good move by Coach Pat Head Summit to change the defense up a little bit. Instead of going man-to-man, switch to a zone.
Well, with no field goals in the last 3.5 minutes, C. Vivian Stringer does indeed bring in Heather Zurich. Jump shot, Parker, off the front of the iron. So let's talk about Rutgers and having trouble against Tennessee. Do they not match up particularly well, or is Tennessee just a better program?
Well, I think that it's just the size of Tennessee. Got huge players. I mean, you look at the size right now. Tennessee subbed in for Nikki Anosiki, went to freshman Vicky Ball. It just looks like when you play Tennessee, they can bring in one All-American after another. And right now, able to do so with players that have size.
Heather Zurich was on the sideline, out of bounds. So a turnover gives the ball back over to the Lady Vols. Up by 7, looking for more. Oh, Parker really wants the ball, and she's pushed from behind. That's Rashida Junaid called for the personal. And that will be a free throw opportunity for Tennessee.
Tynan Napier felt like there was too much contact from Rashida Junaid. I think the first one they missed, and then the second one felt like they had to call.
So Parker goes to the stripe, where she's a 71% free thrower.
I'm real impressed with Candace Parker in the game tonight. She's really playing physical, trying to post up, creating opportunities to get the ball in the paint. And I think that that's a great sign. She's trying to establish herself early in the paint, and I think as the game progresses, you'll then see the extent of her long-range game that she has.
13 points for the junior from Naperville, Illinois, just outside Chicago. What a fantastic career Candace Parker has had already. Still another year of eligibility, but she's set to graduate in the spring. There's the possibility, the very good possibility, that she would go on and play for K. He's got WNBA riches in her sights. Shannon Bobbitt from behind is upended. Epiphany Prince, her former high school teammate, just goes over the top.
That's Prince's second foul. Coach Springer's like, calm down, settle down a little bit. Shannon Bobbitt is so quick. She'll take off on you, you're chasing her down, and all of a sudden she changes directions. And I think with her height or lack thereof, sometimes you may not see her when she stops.
First point of the game for the senior from New York. Bobbitt and Epiphany Prince, they won a national championship, a USA Today high school national championship when Bobbitt was a senior and Prince was a sophomore at Murray Bergstrom High School in Manhattan.
That's a guard combination.
Yep.
Wow.
And I talked to Epiphany earlier today. She said she was the leading scorer as the sophomore guard.
And I believe it. Well, you have a point guard like Shannon Bobbitt who has no problem distributing the basketball. Here's Zurich. Zurich's open. Carson's in C. They're a little bit Rutgers looks a little bit confused.
Prince too strong with the jumper. Rebound Parker. Here comes Bobbitt. Jumper short. Offensive rebound and another whistle. Carolyn, your thoughts on all the whistles we've had so far in this game?
Well, I think you have to complement the style of play that Tennessee is playing in order to have the calls made. And that's because they're trying to establish an inside game. With Parker playing so physical inside, you got to guard her. And a lot of times the only way to stop her is to foul her. She attracts more fouls from the opponents than anybody else in the nation. So that's one of the things Tennessee is trying to establish right now is look inside. Sometimes the foul's coming and the ball's not even there.
10 team fouls now on Rutgers. 18 fouls on the Tennessee Lady Vols. And we'll have a substitution coming into the game. And for the first time in a while is Brittany Ray. We didn't expect to see her. She had been out with an injured knee for over a month, but she's now into the game. What's the method to the madness here for Coach Stringer bringing in Brittany Ray?
Well, I think trying to get some offense going. When you look at the last graphic of Rutgers' field goal, how long it's been since they've scored, Brittany Ray is instant offense when she comes in. The only question is she's not completing a full practice. So really doesn't know what kind of rhythm she can get in.
This is now the largest deficit of the season for the Scarlet Knights.
And that's a problem for Rutgers because with being in foul trouble, it doesn't allow them to bring that press because that's a potential foul situation.
Bobbitt has the ball on the wing. Over to Parker. She can hit that shot. Drives on Junai. Open look. Too strong. Fuller can't find it. Zurich the rebound. Zurich is pushed, and she will go to the free throw line. That's the third foul now on Alexis Hornbuckle.
Well, that was a concern. She got the second one with 8 minutes to go, so she went almost 4 minutes without picking up that third foul.
Alberta Augusti back into the game, replacing Hornbuckle. One-on-one situation for Zurich, the junior.
Well, and look at all the wrap and all that Augusti has on her arm. That also happened in the Mississippi State game. Debbie Jennings said you could play the theme from MASH during that game.
Carson working against Bobbitt, didn't like the odds. Set it up with Zurich, now over to Brittany Ray. Last time down the floor, that was the very first turnover of the game for Tennessee. Over 15 minutes of play and just one turnover.
Hudson has to be happy with the way Tennessee is taking care of the ball, especially with how much they've tried to pound it inside and run it in transition.
Just beating the shot clock. Carson can't hit the jumper.
Candace Parker's calling for it strong with the matchup against Kia Vaughn.
Fuller. Off the mark. Carson runs down the loose ball. How worried should Rutgers be right now, trailing by 11?
Well, I've seen Rutgers come from behind before. 11 being their biggest deficit of the season. The issue is the foul trouble. They're the #1 offensive threat that they had against Connecticut's on the bench right now in foul trouble in Epiphany Prince. You know, the other problem that Rutgers has is they're struggling inside, trying to go to Rashid Zanai, not getting opportunities for Kia Vaughn.
Another turnover, now 7 for Rutgers. And Tennessee fortunate to get that ball back. Bobbitt rejected by Vaughn. One New Yorker saying, how do you do to the other New Yorker?
Kia Vaughn's got to get more touches.
They get it to her inside. Blocked from behind by Parker. Blocked again. Here come the Lady Vols. Augusti, too strong off the window.
Vivian Stringer said, whoa, settle down. You don't want to get caught in the running game. That plays right in the hands of what the Lady Vols want. They want an up-and-down game. They're looking to run.
Last week, Rutgers knocking off the #1 team in the country, the UConn Huskies, but that game was at home. Different environment down here in Knoxville. And a shot clock violation.
Well, I think that's attributed to the different environment here in Knoxville. Thompson-Boling Arena, too loud for the Scarlet Knights.
See Vivian Stringer's bunch. They're feeling claustrophobic here in Knoxville, Tennessee. The defense has been fantastic for the Lady Vols, and they have a big lead, up by 11 with 1:55 remaining.
Brian Byrne, Kara Lawson in studio. Coming up on the Mucinex halftime report. Kara gives us her top 5 in the nation. You get the feeling Tennessee will be in there, plus the big battle in the Big East. Can Georgetown respond after the loss to Louisville? It's all coming up at the half. Eric and Carolyn?
Brian, thank you so much. Well, we are in the midst of a very important week for the Women's Basketball Coaches Association. In the quest to heighten awareness for women's cancers, it's Think Pink Week. Log on to www.jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4JIMMY-V to donate to the KYOW WBCA Cancer Fund. 100% of every donation to the V Foundation goes directly to the cancer research. And in 2007 alone, $9 million was raised for the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Not bad.
That's very impressive for 100% donation.
Tennessee up by 11, looking for more. Shot a little bit off the mark, but look who's there. Candace Parker, the offensive rebound. Augusti, no. Another loose ball, this time run down by Mati Ajavan.
The zone has been very effective for Tennessee for the last over 3 minutes. The score has been stuck at 32-21.
Carson, guarded by Augusti. Shot clock down to 6. Zurich saves it. They're going to have to just hoist one up here. Tough shot, and it goes down for Essence Carson.
Well, if there's a person you want to be able to heist one up there, it's Essence. She can knock it down.
9 points now for the senior from Paterson, New Jersey. And that was a big bucket because it breaks the seal. Oh, Candace wide open, didn't take the shot. Gets in the paint, has the ball ripped away. It'll stay with the Lady Vols.
Well, it looks like Rutgers has switched up their defense a little bit, gone a triangle and 2.
Timeout is called now. Rutgers burning a timeout. They want to talk over their defense with 41 ticks remaining in the first half. Well, Candace Parker, she has been as advertised. A little bit of everything, inside, outside, grabbing boards. She's been fantastic so far.
She's been extremely impressive and started with an aggressive mentality in the attack mode. She's tried to establish herself in the paint or either taking the ball off the dribble. I would see now that she has gotten her rhythm going, she'll expand, showing us what else she has as part of her game.
We had a chance to see an All-American yesterday in Sylvia Fowles down at LSU, and you talked about her desire With Candace Parker, what's the thing that just jumps off the screen at you when you look at her as a player?
She's an all-around baller. She can do so many different things at her size. 6'3", 6'4", can handle the ball like a guard, can post up like a center, can shoot the three from the perimeter. There's so many different things that she can do. And then this young woman can dunk the basketball as well.
Oh, and she gets a friendly home roll here in Knoxville. What a first half for Candace Parker. 17 points in the first 20 minutes. Loose ball on the floor, and again, the Scarlet Knights just being pestered. McCurdy is tied up. It'll be a held ball, possession arrow facing towards Tennessee.
And the momentum is definitely going the Lady Vols direction, and the thing you don't want to do as the opponent is get this crowd into the game, because the louder they get, the more momentum for the Lady Vols, and then it's like an all-star game.
Ball poked away, picked up in the corner by Fuller. Bobbitt's going to have to hurry. Tough pass, and Vicky Baugh couldn't put it in the hole, and that'll do it. Tennessee with a big lead over Vivian Stringer's Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They have just 2 field goals in the last 11 minutes and change, and they go to the locker room with their largest deficit of the season. All right, Rebecca standing by with Pat Summitt. Rebecca, take it away.
Coach, Rutgers only 7 field goals so far. What have you done defensively that's given them so much trouble?
Well, obviously, I think we've had to get out and guard them, and certainly with their post action, I think our post people have done a pretty nice job. And I think the switch from the man to zone might have helped us a little bit, because they were getting inside off dribble penetration. They do a great job breaking you down one-on-one, and we had better containment in our zone.
Rutgers was down to Maryland by 10, UConn by 10, came back to win both of those games. What do you need to do in this second half to keep the lead?
Well, just remind them, this is Rutgers, and Rutgers, they have no quit in them. And we have to come back out and establish what we want to do in the first 4 minutes of the game, but we got to maintain it for 20.
Hey, Coach, thank you.
Rebecca, thank you so much. Our halftime score, Tennessee 34, Rutgers 23.
Is a second half team. All you got to do is look at all their comebacks this year. And we have got to make sure that we are very mindful of keeping them from getting into any runs, all right? We may change up our defense, whatever we're doing. We've got to make sure we're doing that. Hey, they're a second half team. What are we? We're a 40-minute team. Let's go. Let's go. Great answer. Like it.
Welcome back, everyone, to Big Monday presented by Bud Light, part of Rivalry Week presented by Cisco. After 20 minutes of basketball and a rematch of last year's national championship game, Tennessee doing the same thing to Rutgers that they did a year ago. They're up by 11 at the break. Carolyn Peck, I'm Eric Collins. And, well, the story of the first half was about the woman who we didn't even know would play, Candace Parker. She was fantastic with 17 points.
17 points in the first half. She can do it all, and she demonstrated it by being aggressive from the beginning, being very offensive-minded and attacking the basket. I think that when Candace plays that way, establishes inside, playing with that aggressive mentality, she's tough to guard, and she opens up a lot of different things for the rest of her team. Got an ice cup rubbing on her knee there, make sure, just a little rehab action. But I think the key to this game is Rutgers is struggling to score, but like Pat Summitt said, they have come from behind, and they're 3-0 when they were behind at the half.
Yeah, that's hard to believe. See Vivian Stringer's team. They've been behind 3 times at the half, and each time they've come back to win. Yeah, but they haven't had to do it against a team like the Lady Vols of Tennessee.
Well, the thing that they did have to come from behind against Connecticut. So they know they've proven to themselves, I can come from behind against the #1 team. They have to prove, can they do it in back-to-back games.
Travel on Kia Vaughn. Rebecca, what's the latest with the Scarlet Knights?
Well, I asked Coach Stringer about their offensive utility in the first half, and she said, we're trying to work with 2 posts. That's something we don't normally do. It doesn't give us the same flexibility. Expect to see Heather Zurich for more than 7 minutes here in this second half. And she said, we're also going to try to run some patterns where they can't switch, put some defensive or offensive pressure on their defense.
Thanks, Rebecca. That's a great thought. They played the bulk of the season with Heather Zurich starting and playing a lot of the minutes. She didn't play much at all in the first half. Instead, it was Rashida Junaid and the bigger lineup for the Scarlet Knights.
And what I like about Heather Zurich's game is she can knock down the three from the perimeter, but I think that she is one of the best passers to Kia Vaughn. She's the main one that can get the ball inside to Vaughn on the block.
Kia Vaughn, a quiet first half, just 2 points on 1 of 4 shooting. And a whistle and a foul against the Tennessee Lady Vols.
Well, and that foul is against Angie Bjorklund. That's her third. I think the best way to defend Bjorklund is to get her in foul trouble and put her on the bench.
Yeah, Bjorklund only able to play 9 first-half minutes because of foul trouble. A freshman from Spokane, Washington. And she's going to go to the side of Pat Summitt. I think she's going to get an earful.
Well, Pat's telling me, look, you spent the first half on the bench. You got to defend now.
Ten points now for Essence Carson. He was really the only offense for Rutgers in the first half.
Well, she was the only player that had more than 1 field goal made in the first half on the Rutgers team, with 3.
Bobbitt over to Bjorklund. Picks up her dribble. Parker wants the ball. They get it to her. Faces up. Rebound Carson.
Oh, that's a big rebound by Rutgers. The Lady Vol fans stand until the Lady Vols score a basket. The fans been up a while.
Carolyn, you've taken a team to this arena and come up with a W. It was just last season when you were still at the Florida Gators. You won on this floor against Pat Summitt. Is this the most difficult place in the SEC to play?
Well, the season before last, but I think it is one of the toughest places to play. Another place that I've been is in the pit in New Mexico. But here, against the Lady Vols, one of your goals as a team is to see how few a times you hear Rocky Top played by the band.
16-game home winning streak for the Lady Vols. And I should point out, Carolyn, that you not only won with Florida against Tennessee, but you also won when you were Purdue against the Lady Vols. You figured it out.
State Farm Classic. I don't know if we figured it out. If I figured it out, I had players that just played hard and believed. I can't take credit. They got out on the floor and believed in a plan, and they carried it through.
All right, maybe this is a bit of a different half for Rutgers, because early in the second half, they bring in Heather Zurich off the bench. Zurich, who played sparingly in the first half, wearing number 21 in pink for Rutgers. And she's got the ball top of the key.
Well, Tennessee playing a little matchup zone action.
Shot clock down to 4. Skip pass over to Zurich. Ajavan has to fire it up. No good. Prince the rebound. Epiphany gets the shooter's roll.
Rutgers is doing a good job of creating second chance opportunities for themselves. If they don't make the first shot, they've got to go to the boards.
Bjorklund, no. Here comes Ajavan, splits the double team. 3-on-1, throws it up and in.
And this is Rutgers basketball right now. When they get out, run in transition and create. When things aren't going well, when they're trying to execute their half-court offense, bag that plan. Create offense from your defense.
Steal by Prince, ahead of the pack at easy 2. And Pat Summitt wants a timeout. What had been an 11-point lead has been clipped down to 3. C. Vivian Stringer couldn't have drawn it up any better. First, it's Ajavan, then it's Prince, and the lead is down to 3.
You know how we coming. Get out of. The beauty is in what you make it. So get up on your feet, because tonight, chase this light with
Tennessee, they were tickled pink with their first half performance But here in the second half, they're feeling blue. They have not scored. While Rutgers, they've gone an 8-0 run to make this a ball game again.
Well, Coach Vivian Stringer has got to be happy with the production on offense, but also Tennessee's 0 for 5, and Rutgers' defense has a lot to do with that.
You look at Vivian Stringer and her Scarlet Knights, and you think pride. They're not going to let themselves fall too far down against the Lady Vols.
As bad as Coach Vivian Stringer hates to lose, I think that has been infectious on her players. And she's had some tough meetings with them after their games, and they know what's to come if they don't take care of business, helping to instill in their mind that never say die, losing is not an option mentality.
Tennessee has not scored here in the second half. See if they can get the ball to their star, Candace Parker.
Well, the Tennessee fans have been on their feet for 4 minutes and still standing.
Bobbitt comes up empty. A chance to tie with a long ball.
Tennessee still in their matchup zone.
Zurich along the baseline. Contested shot out of bounds. Last touch by Ajavan. All right, timeout on the floor. 15:59 remaining. This one's starting to get heated up. This ESPN telecast is available in high definition on ESPN2 HD, presented by Olivia. We're in Knoxville, Tennessee, where the defending national champion Lady Vols of Tennessee, they're getting scared right now. What had been an 11-point lead over Rutgers has been whittled down to just 3. Alongside Carolyn Peck and with Rebecca Lobo, I'm Eric Collins. And you see Pat Summitt in that huddle. You've been in that huddle before, Carolyn. You coached with her for a couple of seasons. What is she like in the huddle when she's talking to the troops?
Well, first of all, I don't think Tennessee ever gets scared. But in those huddles, Pat Summitt is constantly teaching. And she also allows her team to take ownership. In this last huddle, we were able to hear her talk about, you want to switch up man, go to man, let's take a look at that and see what happens. So when the players go, yeah, let's play man, they say, okay, we committed to doing this. Now we've got to make sure that we're successful.
Rebecca, do you have more?
Guys, I listened to every huddle in the first half, and they were kind of boring, actually, and Blaine when Tennessee had the lead. Well, the first time out of this half, Pat Summitt came over, threw her clipboard down, and raised the gauntlet for her team. She said, we need to get the ball into the paint. No more just coming down and shooting threes. It's like everybody wants it to be their turn. It's about team. She said, I don't want to see a single three-pointer go up until it's gone into the post first.
After 34 years and 7 national titles, I don't think that she's starting to slack up yet.
Well, in the first half, it was all Candace Parker. 13 of the 15 points. No one else has scored. So that's where Pat Summitt wants to continue to go. It was successful for the Lady Vols in the first half.
Ajavan makes it a 1-point game. A 10-0 run here in the second half for the Scarlet Knights. And a whistle and a foul goes against Vivian Stringer's club.
Well, as much as Rutgers has turned up their defense, they're also finding some firepower from the perimeter now with their offense.
Now, the good news was the bucket for Ajavan. The bad news is just a moment ago, she was whistled for her 3rd personal foul. That may be an issue. Inside, Anisicki rejected from behind. Here comes Prince on the run out against Parker. Has it blocked. And Candace Parker is grabbed in the backcourt.
Prince, there's no foul on the contact there. Then stepping back in bounds. Called for the foul. Wow. Thought there was a little body contact with Parker on Prince.
I'll give Epiphany Prince credit for going right after Goliath. Ball poked away, another turnover.
Good hands by Epiphany Prince.
Rutgers a chance to take the lead.
The Lady Vol fans are still standing there.
Yeah, they don't sit down until the first bucket is made each half, and they've been waiting a while.
They did take a break at the timeout and sit then, but they're back on their feet.
I hope they have sensible shoes on. Carson working against Brooklyn. Screen from Zerk. Zerk has the ball. Inside, Junai. Oh, wave it off before the shot. Shot clock violation.
In essence, Carson looked at Heather Zerk and said, when I give it to you out of the double team, you got to look to shoot. No need to pass it down low, especially that late in the shot clock.
Parker is pushed along the baseline by Junai.
That's a tough matchup for Janai, especially when Parker catches the ball away from the lane, off the block, and starts to put the ball on the floor. Just don't believe Janai has the foot speed to keep up with Candace Parker.
That's now 3 fouls on Junai. Brooklyn.
Woo, that's nice from the freshman.
Pretty jumper. First basket of the second half for the Lady Vols. Ball poked away. Lady Vol basketball.
It's one of those senior plays by Alexis Hornbuckle, getting the deflection right when Rutgers momentum swinging their way. A deflection still like that can help play into your team's favor.
Alex Fuller is pushed from behind on her way to the rim.
I like Bjorklund's game. That was a nice decision to curl on that screen. Essence Carson's chasing her. Nice tight curl. Able to go up for the short jumper around the free throw line area.
Bjorklund's got great touch, but that shot was made with her feet. She got just great balance getting herself lined up.
She did. Got her body square. Balance is so key. A lot of times when we're watching these players on TV, we get caught up in what's happening above the shoulders. But you're right. She got her feet set, her shoulders square in order to go up, knock down the shot.
Zurich goes to the bench, replaced by Maya McCurdy. As Fuller, another free throw opportunity. This one is good. 6 points now for the junior from Shelbyville.
Tennessee with a little 1-2-1-1 three-quarter trapping.
Carson works off the screen from Junai. Loose ball. Run down by Augusti, and she is fouled by Carson. Super Tuesday presented by KFC has doubleheader action coming your way tomorrow night on ESPN at 7 Eastern Time. Michigan State takes on Purdue. Then at 9, it's the SEC's turn. Kentucky taking on the 19th ranked Vanderbilt Commodores.
Rutgers is struggling, Eric, when they've got to go inside to Rashida Janai. She's just not been able to catch, or when she's been able to catch the ball in the paint, not able to finish. They're coming up empty in the paint.
Parker trying to get on track. Loses the ball, poked away by Rutgers. It'll stay with the Lady Vols.
Tennessee is 1 for 10. 1 for 10. Rutgers 4 of 8.
Make it 1 of 11 as Candace can't find the shot. Offensive rebound, poked around. Here comes Ajavan. Ahead of the pack is Prince.
That's when Rutgers, I think, is at their best. Running in transition, create early opportunities.
Prince thought she had a steal. Brooklyn shakes her. Free throw line extended. No. Rebound. Junai.
Good check out by Maya McCurdy. Tennessee, Rutgers could tie with this possession.
Yvonne still on the bench for Rutgers with 3 fouls, and they do tie. Prince behind the defense.
What was it? Alexis Hornbuckle doing, defending her on the away from the basket on the top side instead of getting between her and Prince. She just picked her up, just set her up.
Mental mistake ties the game. Rutgers, they have never won here in Knoxville. They have never won on a neutral floor against Tennessee. They've won 3 times, but all of those wins have come in Piscataway. Trying to make history tonight here in Eastern Tennessee. Pat Summitt's team, they're in trouble right now. This second half has belonged to the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Ryan, thank you so much. Well, about 20 minutes ago, coming out of the locker room, this is what Pat Summitt told her team about the Scarlet Knights.
Right off, Rutgers is a second half team. All you got to do is look at all their comebacks this year. And we have got to make sure that we are very mindful of keeping them from getting into any runs, all right? We may change up our defense, whatever we're doing. We've got to make sure we're doing that.
Well, never let it be said that Pat Summitt doesn't know what she's talking about. The Scarlet Knights have come out of the locker room and played like their hair's on fire, erased an 11-point deficit, and were tied.
Well, she could have been talking to both teams in the locker room. She knew what Rutgers is capable of doing, and they've shown that and tried to prepare her Lady Vols for it. They haven't handled it very well so far.
Now pressure in the backcourt, and the Scarlet Knights break it. McCurdy, jumper off the window, no. Rebound, Bjorkman.
Rutgers is just missing an inside presence without Kia Vaughn.
And Candace Parker hits the deck hard.
Both Vaughn and Heather Zurich are on the bench now for the Scarlet Knights.
Kia Vaughn on the bench, presumably because of those 3 personal fouls. Alexis Hornbuckle on the bench for Tennessee with 4 personal fouls. And Parker will shoot 2 free throws. There's Hornbuckle cooling her heels for a while.
Hornbuckle with the 4 fouls and only 2 points.
Heather Zurich back into the game, replacing Maya McCurdy. It has been a perfect night for the junior Parker at the free throw line. She's now 8 for 8.
Wow. Looked like she short follow through on that one, not all the way through.
Epiphany Prince, sophomore, with the basketball up high. Working against Alberta Augusti. Shot clock already down to 6. Rashida Junai creates space and gets the bucket.
No call. There's no call. Tennessee's looking for the call. So loud in here. Could they imagine that there was a whistle?
And Rutgers takes the lead. Parker trying to get it back. She is fouled.
Down at the other end, Candace Parker tried to attract the offensive foul. May have been a little bit of an acting part on the official. She did kind of dip the shoulder a little bit, but no call. Both teams are stunned that there's no call. And finally, Epiphany Prince is yelling to the rest of her team, come on, get back on defense.
Now the other way down the floor, trouble for Rutgers. The foul called on Junaid. She now has 4 personals. She'll have to go to the bench, replaced by Kia Vaughn. Wednesday Night Hoops on ESPN continues in the ACC. DeMarcus Nelson and the second-ranked Duke Blue Devils taking on the Maryland Terrapins. Wednesday Night Hoops presented by Staples on ESPN at 7 Eastern. After missing a couple, Candace hits the second, and we're tied at 39.
And with Kia Vaughn back in the game, you got to believe that Tennessee is going to look to go inside.
Loose ball, and we're going to have a jump ball. It's going to stay with Rutgers. Rebecca, what do you have?
Well, guys, this game is tied in the second half, much because of Epiphany Prince. Now, she had 33 against UConn in their last game, but remember, she was only 2 of 8 in the first half. She had 27 of her points in the second. Well, today in the first half, only 1 of 7, 4 of 6 so far here in the second half. And she told me against UConn, when she made that first 3, that's all it took. It just wanted to keep making her take more. And when she's missing her shots, her teammates are always in her ear. Keep shooting. That's your job. You're a shooter. Keep shooting and scoring.
And the way she shot the ball, Rebecca, against Connecticut in that second half, she's got to keep that kind of confidence. The other thing that she did in the Connecticut game was, I think, spark her offense from her defense with her deflections, with her hustle plays, and she even smiled on the floor. She's one of those players that kind of stays even keel, but when she gets to playing with some emotion, tell you what, she's a tough player to defend. Watch her here, nice inside out. Got a little bounce. She's still kind of calm right now. Need to let her cut loose a little bit. I think that this kind of momentum swing off steals really plays into fueling the fire for Epiphany Prince.
33 points, 6 steals in last Tuesday's win against UConn. Those 33 points, a new career high that erases her career high that she had set a year ago in a game against your Florida Gators when she had 29 points. So you knew she was something last year.
And I knew you were going to bring that up. But
taking a look at the shot clock right now, trying to figure out how much time should be on it. I don't think the ball hit the rim here, and there wasn't a true change of possession. So the shot clock shouldn't have reset to 31. It still should be somewhere in the teens right about now, as it's a jump ball with Rutgers possession. And what's the verdict?
Well, there's 30 seconds on the shot clock, so they must have reset it. But in talking about Epiphany Prince, against Florida last year, in Florida, we had the lead at the half, and she just took her team on her back, and it was from steals, deflections, creating offense from her defense, open jumpers, knocking them down. This young woman can score.
Vaughn wants it, working against Parker. She's got it on the wing. Backing in, uses that good body, poked away by Parker. It has been all Candace Parker for the most part for Tennessee since 12:30 in the first half. On the run out, Carson takes her time, and she's fouled.
It was the and ones against Connecticut that really turned things on for Rutgers in their victory. Plays like that Essen Carson's just had, that can swing in the momentum of the visiting team. Good shot fake, good finish. Bjorklund then picks up another foul.
Carolyn, you think of Rutgers as kind of a slow-it-down team, but when they get in transition, they have good finishers.
Well, the thing that you think Rutgers is a slow-it-down team, but they really have lots of different speeds, and I think that Coach Vivian Stringer has good control over her team. Her team plays the way she wants them to play. When she wants them to play slow, they play slow. When she wants them to speed it up, jets are on, let it go.
And Bjorklund goes to the bench, joining Alexis Hornbuckle with 4 personal fouls. Still 9.5 remaining in this one.
Here they come with 55.
Tennessee, they have never lost to Rutgers here in Knoxville or on a neutral floor. 12-0. 4-0 here at home, 8-0 on neutral floors.
Well, the thing Rutgers has to do is defend without fouling.
Here's that pressure in the backcourt, and it's Anisicki who breaks it, and we're going to have an over the back here. Now before an over back, it goes out of bounds, and it'll be Rutgers basketball. Pat Summitt is steamed.
A good defensive change by Vivian Stringer to go to that full court press. Even with the lead, it's something she normally does when she's playing from behind.
Heather Zerk back in the game, replacing Maya McCurdy.
But ever since the timeout, when Tennessee changed from going to a zone, to man, Rutgers has been able to turn it up a little bit.
Prince raises. Run down by Anisicki. Anisicki doing a lot of dribbling here. Left-handed shot, front of the rim, no good. Rebound, Kia Vaughn.
Good defense by Kia Vaughn, playing very smart with 3 fouls.
Rutgers has had their season end each of the last 3 seasons at the hands of the Tennessee Lady Vols in the NCAA tournament.
I talked to Essence Carsons, and I said, you think about that? And she said, well, we haven't had much choice but to think about it. And we know with everything that went on with the Don Imus situation, she said she's tried to put it to bed. And aside from all of that happened, it was a championship opportunity that was taken away from her. So she said every time she thinks about it, it hurts. And so this is an opportunity to kind of redeem themselves against the Lady Vols.
And with that last foul, we'll come all the way to the other end, and Candace Parker will shoot a 1-and-1. That last foul called on Epiphany Prince. She now has 4. Free throw is good.
And Maya McCurdy's coming in. Heather Zurich thought it was for her. But Epiphany Prince with 4 fouls, 8 minutes left. Rutgers has got the lead by 2. If they can keep it close within a 2 3-point game, at least until the 5-minute mark, I would keep Epiphany Prince on the bench.
Pressure in the backcourt.
It's a good move by Tennessee, especially with Prince on the bench.
McCurdy crosses the timeline, gets it to Ajavan. Rutgers last Tuesday defeating the #1 team, Connecticut, trying to defeat the #2 team 6 days later. Carson.
Wow, that's nice. Slice and dice through the defense for the finish for the layup.
Shannon Bobbitt has been quiet here in the second half.
Candace Parker's not getting as many touches in the second half as she did the first.
Wild shot by Nikki Anisicki, and she's bailed out. She's fouled, and she'll have 2 free throws. All right, timeout on the floor. 7:28 remaining. Rutgers, they have the lead in large part because of their senior. Essence Carson feeling it off the window. Well, Smokey not liking this very much right now. The Lady Vols trail Rutgers by 3. Time now for our game track, brought to you by Cisco.
Well, you look, both Prince and Carson's combined for 31 points. Tennessee is getting it done by Candace Parker, and pretty much Candace Parker alone. And then the foul troubles. You look, Prince, McCurdy to 9, both have 4. Hornbuckle and Morcland with 4. And Hornbuckle, I believe, just checked back in the ball game. There's still almost 7.5 minutes left to go. Tennessee's offense has been a little stagnant. Hornbuckle's coming into the game. I think that's to get a little offensive flow started for the Lady Vols.
Well, the good news for the Lady Vols of Tennessee, Candace Parker, no fouls. Not a 1.
That's a good thing. But I think the problem in the second half is Candace Parker limited touches. She had way more touches in the first half. And I believe she's got to, the Lady Vols have to get back to going to her.
That's the first point of the game for Nikki Anisicki. She had a fierce national championship game a year ago against Rutgers. Rebecca.
Well, to Carolyn's point about getting the ball back to Candace Parker in that last huddle, Pat Summitt said to her team, we're not shooting the ball well at all. We've made 1 field goal the second half, and we're still in this. Guys, Rutgers has 19 fouls in this game. 13 of them have been fouling Candace Parker.
Thank you, Rebecca. Foul trouble is going to be huge over the last 7 and change. Carson working against Bobbitt. McCurdy trying to get position, playing with 4 fouls. Instead, they go to Ajavan. She's going to have to hoist it. Shot clock down to 1. Just gets it off, and they're going to call a charge. Gee, she probably would have been better off if she never even got the shot off, because now she picks up the personal, and she's hurt.
She's still on the floor. Well, she gets past Parker. Hornbuckle stays in there to draw the charge. That's risky on Hornbuckle's part because she's got the 4 fouls, but able to draw the foul, draw the charge.
It hasn't been pretty shooting-wise for Tennessee here in the second half.
1 of 15 in the second half.
Those poor shots, bad shooting, or great defense?
I think it's really good defense, and I also think that going away from where you had success in the first half, and that's going to Parker.
And another foul. If this is on Ajivan, that's her 4th. It is indeed on Mati Ajivan, and the senior joins Prince, Junaid, and McCurdy with 4 fouls.
Well, and Shannon Bobbitt also picked up a technical foul, taunting after the foul was called, pointing to Ajivan after the foul was after the official called the foul. Look, right after the foul was called, Bobbitt pointing at Ajivan for the technical foul. Now, that also means that that's a personal foul. When you get a technical foul called, they've changed the rule. That also means that you are assessed a personal foul. So that's her 2nd foul. That's uncalled for. It really is. You know, you can get fired up and emotional about the game, and pumping your teammates up is one thing, but taunting.
That was not a senior moment for the senior.
Especially when you're behind. Bobbitt gets up and goes straight at. The official knew who the foul was on. I don't believe Tina Napier appreciated the extra help that she got from Shannon Bobbitt.
Now you expect your seniors to be your leaders, and Pat Summitt expects more out of his point guard.
Got to be a leader. I'm sure Shannon Bobbitt won't let that happen again. She apologized just now to Tina Napier. Said, got a little too excited there. I'm going to get it back under control.
Now, this is a real issue right now for Rutgers. They have 4 players with 4 fouls. They only have 9 players dressed today.
You got your tennis shoes with you?
Epiphany Prince, Rashida Junaid, Mati Ajivan, and Maya McCurdy, all with 4 fouls. 1 more in their cook.
Well, I would look for, with the lead, as long as Rutgers can maintain the lead, they now will slow the game down. Try to execute, use more of the clock, less opportunities or time to foul.
Pressure in the backcourt. Carson breaks it. Over to Ajivan. Zerk thinking about it. McCurdy to no one in particular. I think that was an entry pass to Vaughn.
It was a lob pass to Vaughn. Vaughn thought it was a shot because that's how her technique of passing was the shot technique instead of looking like a pass.
Oh, Tennessee, 3 for their last 31 from the field. And the troubles continue. Parker misses. Rebound, and Hornbuckle thrown to the ground. Essence Carson called for the foul, her 2nd.
Called on the rebound.
Hornbuckle averages 11 points a game, only 2 tonight. He's been limited with foul trouble. Misses the first. Epiphany Prince back into the game. Now don't forget, this is Think Pink Week. Log on to jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4JIMMY-V to donate to the KYOW WBCA Cancer Fund. 2007, 2/3 of a million women across the country were diagnosed with cancer. The V Foundation has raised over $9 million towards cancer research. Just a fantastic, fantastic fund. Long bucket for Epiphany Prince.
Who's back in the game with 4 fouls.
And 17 points.
And remember, we talked about in that national championship game, Epiphany Prince had 0 field goal attempts. You think that she's grown up from a freshman to a sophomore.
Parker, pretty move.
That's where you got to go back to. Parker's carried this team through the whole first half. You got to ride her all the way to the end.
Rutgers up by just a point. And a timeout is called. Vivian Stringer didn't like the way this possession was shaping up with 8 ticks remaining on the shot clock.
Her team is not executing. Doesn't look like what it is that she wants. So to save a possession, instead of possibly turning the ball over, the crowd had already gotten into the plays of Tennessee. Momentum swing. If you don't execute it and turn it over, this place top will come off at Thompson-Boling Arena.
Moments ago, pretty move for Candace Parker in the paint.
Tennessee's got to continue to let the All-American touch it. She's carried them through the majority of the game, especially the first half. And when you're struggling to score, your field goals, they've gone such a long time without scoring, you got to go to Candace Parker, especially when she's down low and in the paint.
Candace not only gifted athletically, but she uses that athletic ability on that jump shot. She just raises up above everyone else.
Well, and she's got such long arms, so she can elevate and then extend with her follow through. So it'll be very rare that you see Candace Parker get her shot blocked.
Sylvia Vols will have a chance to block her shot on Thursday on this floor when LSU comes to calling. It'll be a battle for first place in the SEC.
Tennessee in a zone as Rutgers is late in the shot clock. Wow, Epiphany Prince penetrated the zone. That's the last thing Pat Summitt wanted to happen against her zone defense.
Prince now with 19 points. The lead swells back up to 3. Epiphany Prince and Essence Carson, they have combined for 35 of Rutgers' 50 points.
Again, the foul trouble can be an issue, especially as the clock ticks away.
Good defense played by Kia Vaughn to strip the ball away. Pass out front, off the fingertips of Prince. Good defense for Shannon Bobbitt, and the ball will go back over to the Lady Vols.
New York against New York, trying to track that ball down right there.
Angie Bjorklund back in the game with 4 fouls now.
What Tennessee can do right now, especially with Kia Vaughn guarding Candace Parker, go to her right there at the elbow. Let her go one-on-one. Vaughn wants to stay in the game. She's got 4 fouls.
Here she goes. Parker, a little one-on-one. Half hook is a beauty.
There's nothing you can do with that. Go to Parker every single time. Let her work her magic one-on-one.
Yeah, different DNA for Candace Parker. Just a special player.
Candace Parker has brought her All-American game from start to finish tonight. I believe that's what Pat Summitt's looking for from Candace Parker.
Candace Parker, 25 points. Her team has 49. More than half of her team's point she has accounted for, and a timeout called by Rutgers. Now, this is a rematch of a hotly contested game just 1 year ago. Let's take you back to the national championship game. Game played at Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. The national championship on the line, and Pat Summitt had her troops fired up. Candace Parker just too much early, too much late. Shannon Bobbitt chipped in as well. And the Lady Vols giving Pat Summitt her 7th national title.
Well, Candace Parker did her part. Shannon Bobbitt down the stretch, hitting 2 key threes to extend the lead. And I think the unsung hero of that national championship game, we talked about it earlier, was Nikki Anasiki. 16 rebounds, and 10 of those were on the offensive boards.
And Anasiki not even in the game right now for Tennessee. Zurich over to Ajavon. Ajavon playing with 4 fouls. Who is it? Oh, nice jumper.
This Rutgers team, they play with ice in their veins. They're not rattled. Tennessee makes their run. They come down after a timeout, and the coach loves to see that. Execute and score.
Bobbitt, no. Rebound, Alex Fuller.
Tennessee just has such length on the rebound.
Such patience for Parker.
Vaughn comes so close. The way the game was called earlier, very easily could have been the 5th foul on Kia Vaughn.
Zurich hands it off to Prince. Inside, Vaughn. Before the shot, Vaughn is fouled by Candace Parker. Oh, man, this one is shaping up to be a doozy. 2:47 remaining, and we're going to take a timeout. Candace Parker keeping her team in with her will. Vivian Stringer's bunch, they still have the lead, though.
Ryan Burke, Carol Lawson in studio. Let's get you up to date on Georgetown and Villanova. Kara, Georgetown in the second half, a different team getting it inside.
Roy Hedberg, he's the center of everything for that Princeton offense.
3-point game, 50-47. A reminder, coming up next on ESPN, a dandy in the Big 12. It's Kansas and Texas, 3 versus 11. Approximate tip, 9-10. Back to Eric and Carol.
Tennessee trailing by 1 against Rutgers. Well, earlier this half, Pat Summitt giving Shannon Bobbitt an absolute earful after picking up that technical foul.
She got it for taunting her, went right at her, pointed a finger right on the top of her head like you. And that's the best explanation I can give you because I didn't see that one. But for taunting, you get...
Shannon, get over here. This isn't about you.
Rebound.
You gonna cost us a ball game?
No, not at all.
Well, you better not do that ever again.
And you see when you respond to Pat Summitt is 2 points after she gives you a compliment.
Yeah.
And then when you get a little criticism, it's rebound. That means you understand and you've got to rebound. You've got to make it right.
I don't think Shannon Bobbitt's going to do that again.
Ever. For the rest of her career.
All right, after the timeout, Rutgers with the basketball. Carson in trouble. Gets it back. Pestered by Candace Parker. Plenty time on the shot clock. Scarlet Knights trying to knock off the number 2 ranked Tennessee Lady Vols.
And Tennessee's changed the defense now to a 1-2-2 half-court zone.
Shot clock down to 5. Prince throws it up. Prayer answered. 21 for the sophomore.
That sophomore is something special.
Yorkland. Inside. Anisicki, no. Offensive rebound, Hornbuckle, and a whistle and a foul.
And I have to make a correction, Eric, because I've been talking about Kia Vaughn. I thought she had 4 fouls. She only has 3. So that's allowed her to play as aggressive as she has through the rest of this second half.
Well, that foul was indeed on Kia Vaughn. So now she has 4.
So now she has 4.
So now there are 5 players on Rutgers with 4 fouls. Kia Vaughn right there, Maya McCurdy, Rashida Junaid, Mati Ajivan, and Epiphany Prince, all with 4 fouls. Rebound Carson, she skied for that.
She went up after it.
Look at Sylvia Fox.
Now for Alexis Hornbuckle, she only shoots 71%. Has missed her last 2 free throws.
Carson, guarded by Anisicki. Wild shot, oh, in and out. Vaughn, offensive rebound and stick back. Rutgers looking to win for the first time ever here in Knoxville. And Pat Summitt has seen enough. She calls timeout.
Wow. What a great move. Essence Carson to attack the basket, and then Kia Vaughn, something that hurt Rutgers in the national championship game, has played to the benefit of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights tonight. Crashing the offensive boards, avoiding getting called for the charge, and then Kia Vaughn on the offensive glass, able to stick it back in.
Well, for Tennessee, their next game is Thursday, right here in Knoxville, and they take on LSU. First place in the SEC will be on the line. You would think that being a conference game, maybe it would mean a little bit more than this game, which is a non-conference game. I don't think so. Pat Summitt, she's hot right now.
Oh, definitely so. There's a lot on the line. They have the potential, if they win tonight, move into the #1 position. If they move to the #1 position and can maintain through the rest of the season, they have the opportunity to have the prime pick of the region that they go to for the first round of the NCAA tournament. How many fans in Knoxville, Tennessee would like to just have to go down the road a little bit to Greensboro, North Carolina?
Big shot for Bobbitt.
Well, you got to know Pat Summitt drew it up, and Shannon Bobbitt delivered just the way it was ordered.
Scarlet Knights taking some time off the clock. Dangerous pass. Ajavon off the screen from Barr. Probing. A chance to tie or take the lead. Bjorklund.
Oh, my goodness. From the freshman. Her daddy's here, and you've got to believe he's loving that.
Back-to-back threes. Bobbitt and Bjorklund. We hadn't heard it in a while, but I think I hear Rocky Top playing.
That's a big three by the freshman. First you get it from the senior in Shannon Bobbitt, and then coming down in transition. Heads up play by Alexis Hornbuckle, finding Bjorklund, and she's ready to knock down that shot.
The freshman Bjorklund, tougher than a $2 steak. She wanted that shot.
Tougher than a $2. She did want it. All the way down the floor. You could see it. She was ready to spot up. You know, I told you earlier, Debbie Jennings said, Bjorklund's dad's in town. We got to meet him at shoot-around this morning. And they were all smiles about that, because when he's in town, she plays well. Her uncle's here, too. And she's definitely giving him something to be proud of right now. There's 52 seconds, 51. Nice. Early in the shot clock. Only 6 seconds had ticked off. Gives the Lady Vols the lead.
Now for defensive purposes, Bjorklund with those 4 fouls. She's going to stay on the bench. And now the pressure swings to Rutgers. Take me inside that huddle. What's Vivian Stringer drawing up right now?
Well, right now she wants to come down and execute. Yeah, after a 3. Oh, that's what the officials are looking at right now, of how much time was left when the basket was made.
Yeah, they're dotting I's and crossing T's. They want to make sure exactly how much time is remaining.
Goes through 24 seconds is what I see.
Game clock.
47.8.
They're going to put 49.0 on. So plenty of time for both Rutgers and Tennessee to make some plays or make some mistakes. All right, let's get back into this huddle right now.
Well,
Rutgers, what do they need to do?
There's 19 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. So what Rutgers needs to do right now is they want to execute, and they've got to convert. Now, whether that's a 2 or a 3, it doesn't matter, but they just want to make sure that they convert. And they can use as much of the shot clock as possible as they need. Now, in that timeout, too, Coach Stringer had to talk about if we score and if we don't. Do we foul? Or if we score, you want to press so that Tennessee can't just bring the ball down the court full speed.
Ajavon. Oh, dangerous pass over to Prince. Prince working off the screen. Gets inside. Shot blocked by Parker. And Parker, was she out of bounds?
She hit her elbow. Parker, look at the timing she has. She just cupped it, palmed it.
So the ball belongs to Rutgers, out of bounds underneath the basket. In case you're wondering, the possession arrow favors Tennessee. Anderson. Pull up. Big shot.
Wow. Now Tennessee will play for the last shot. 19 seconds.
Will they call timeout?
No.
Parker gives it up. Bobbin. Oh, they're not going to call timeout. This is going to be it. No. Parker, the rebound. Oh, she misses with the left hand, and that'll do it. Oh, did we get a foul? I think they called a foul. Anasicki goes to the ground. It's going to depend on how much time is left. They're going to have to think about it. There was a whistle. Anasicki was fouled. It's going to depend on how much time was left. The three officials getting together and thinking about this.
On the rebound, Candace Parker tries to put it back up. Anasicki goes for the rebound. Now we see Parker, but what's Anasicki doing? Shot goes up.
It looked as if there was time on the clock when Anasicki was pulled from behind.
Looked like 0.2 seconds still on the clock. But Bob Trumbull hasn't raised his hand yet to show that there's a foul.
But it didn't look like the clock was running. It looked like the clock had stopped at 2.
The clock stopped
when the game was still being played. If we can look at that again, it looked as if the clock just stopped at 0.2. See, the clock is running here. And it just stops.
Wow, that's a long pause on the clock. Clock did stop at 0.2.
The players were still moving, but the clock was not.
And when Bob Trumbull raised his hand to make the call of the foul, the clock had stopped.
Oh, that's interesting. The clock, there's a hiccup there. The clock stopped at 0.2, and they're going to say that Anasicki's going to have a chance.
Now, what's even bigger, Eric, is that Anasicki's only a 64% free throw shooter.
Well, are they going to say she was in the act of shooting? Oh, that was, okay. That's 10 fouls now in Rutgers, so she will have 2 no matter what.
2, right.
That foul called on Kia Vaughn. So Vaughn, her evening is done. Technically, she's still in the game right now. They're going to have to rectify that, and Vivian Stringer wants to call timeout anyway and make sure that everyone's on the same page.
And if Anasicki makes 1 of 2, they go to overtime. Rutgers has to play the overtime without Kia Vaughn.
Oh, that's a tough call to make, either side. But if you're Rutgers, you just got to be a little bit steamed right there. It looked like the clock paused inadvertently at 0.2.
Well, as the play continues on, and you watch the official.
Well, if the clock operator actually paused that clock for a moment at the whistle, that was the quickest finger I've ever been around.
Wow. 0.2.
There is a foul. It just depends whether or not there's time left on the clock.
Wow. These are going to be some big free throws by the senior.
So Kia Vaughn has indeed left the game. She's replaced by Rashida Junaid, and we're going to have 2 free throws for Anasicki.
A lot of pressure on Nikki right here. It's tied up.
A chance to win it. With 0.2 remaining, Nikki Anasicki, the senior, hits both free throws, and the Lady Vols take the lead.
Well, that's a big free throws, big performance at the free throw line by Nikki Anisiki. Normally a 64% free throw shooter. The senior steps to the line with 0.2 seconds left on the clock and is able to knock down 2 free throws. This will be one of those moments that'll be talked about the rest of the season. Comes down to 0.2 seconds when the foul is called.
If you're Rutgers, this has just got to tear your guts out.
Every player and the coaching staff has got to be sick to their stomach right now, because as that possession played out, coaches were hugging themselves. The celebration had begun. And now it's like having a pin just pop your balloon. Air comes flying out.
All right, still somewhat of a chance for Vivian Stringer's club, but with 0.2 on the clock, what can they possibly hope for?
Catch and shoot. There's no time to pass. So you've got to get a full length of the court type something and catch and shoot.
Basically,
that's
you
it.
bat it towards the rim. I don't even know if you're going to have time to catch and shoot.
Yeah. But the clock doesn't start until it's touched by a player.
Essence Carson will trigger the inbound.
The clock didn't start.
That'll do it. Kind of an awkward way to end the game, but the referees have left the court, and this one is a final. The Tennessee Lady Vols, they survive against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, and Rutgers, they had a golden opportunity, but at the end, they just didn't get it done, and they continue to just be vexed by Tennessee. They have never won against Tennessee here in Knoxville or on a neutral floor. They are now 0-13 in those games.
But that is as close that Tennessee has been played, and they have come out with a victory this year, left with 0.2 seconds on the clock. I think what this can do for Rutgers, though, is to show them what they're capable of doing. They're not undersized. They rebounded with Tennessee. So now maybe we'll see a rematch in March, maybe in Tampa, of these two teams.
Rebecca standing by with the happy head coach Pat Summit. Rebecca.
Coach, down one with 0.2 seconds left. What did you say to Nikki Anisiki before she took those free throws?
Well, obviously I thought she was ready, and I just said, let's get this over with. And, second half we struggled so much offensively, and it was just an uphill battle the whole way, but really proud of our basketball team for never giving up.
When you first came over, you said to me, how did we win? So I asked you the same question. How did you win?
Just like you said. I don't know. But we found a way.
Thanks so much, Coach. You guys.
Pat Summit now with 969 wins. Hardly any of those could have been as hard fought as this one tonight here in Knoxville.
Well, it came down to this final play. Rutgers had fought and scraped and clawed their way back into the ball game, and then with the full length of the court to have to go with 0.2 seconds left, there was just enough time to really catch and shoot. You couldn't even come down with it. Tina Napier made the call. Time was out. The clock keeper even never got the shot clock started. But you got to compliment Rutgers' defense. They held Tennessee to a season low of 59 points. And that just shows the type of defense that Rutgers is capable of playing.
Yeah, and credit Rutgers, too. That was a difficult pill to swallow.